time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
The 49ers have such an electric history at so many positions. Quarterback, wide receiver, running backs. But you could argue, like, maybe some of the best linebacker tandems and, linebacker players in the history of the sport, they all wore red and gold. Fred Warner might be better than all of them whenever it's all said and done, and it's crazy to think that that is not hyperbole. He is so freaking good, and, I don't know what his nickname is, but for me, Fred Warner's nickname is the standard. Like, he sets the standard for what it means to be a 49er, for what it means to play on this defense, for what it means to be a modern-day linebacker. He has completely redefined what the NFL sees as the prototypical linebacker. He's changed it. You go back to the 90s and the early 2000s, you had these bigger-bodied, short, stout, whatever else. No. Fred Warner ain't that. That dude's 6'3", 230. The length and the athleticism, I still will argue to this day, the greatest coverage linebacker in the history of the NFL is Fred Warner. He's that damn good. 4 Pro Bowls, 4 All-Pros, 4 first-team All-Pros. Incredible. And he comes in number 4 on our roster countdown series for 2025. And you want to have him higher? You ain't got to argue with me. He is a freak of nature, and I would argue the most important captain leader in the locker room. Offense, defense, don't care. Hey, I mean, whenever they go into halftime, Kyle Shanahan will let Fred Warner handle the locker room, the speech, and all that stuff if the 49ers have to make big-time adjustments. And so, like, they know, and he tells, you got to have something prepared. Like, look, we got to work. We only got limited time. You handle the locker room speech. Coaches got to make adjustments. Go. Like, he's one of those guys. And what's crazy is he's 28. You pair, there's 5 all-pro players on this team. He's the youngest. He's the youngest. Like he is a guy that just, he's the standard. He's everything. Now, if you look back on where Fred Warner's ranked on this list, 2022 he was 6th. 2023 was 5th. Last year he was 5th. Now he's 4th. So he's steady climbing up where that looks. And, our indication for this is kind of what is the biggest impact this season only. That's kind of how we define 1 through 91. Linebacker's probably not the biggest drop-off whenever you look at the other positions like running back, left tackle, quarterback. Like, you've got a solid linebacking core and great linebacker coaches, Johnny Holland, Robert Saleh. That's kind of a detriment to Fred on this list, but you want to have him higher, I don't care. Where's jersey number 54? 6'3", 230, 32-inch arms, just turned, he's 28, turns 29 in November, ran a 4.6 40, 6.93 cone. That's faster than a lot of wide receivers. That's top 86 percentile of linebackers. 38.5-inch vertical, that's top 90% of linebackers. Dude's just a freak. Explosive, whatever you want. Going into his 8th season. From Mission Hills High School down in San Marcos, California, went to BYU. Born, raised in San Marcos. Parents, Laura and Fred Warner. Fred is the oldest of 2 boys. His brother also went to play at BU with him, Troy, and even made it to the NFL. No longer in the league any longer, but that's kind of what it is. That's going to happen. And was a first-team All-California honor player in high school. Caught the attention of BYU, who was not looking at Fred Warner by any means. A diehard BYU fan and family friend sent Warner's highlight tape to the coaches. It was later offered a scholarship after that put him on the radar. Like, how cool is that? And, you look at what Fred Warner did at BYU. Started 42 games out of 49 at BYU. He was watch list for the Bednarik, the Butkus Awards. He was the Werfel Trophy and AFCA Good Works team nominee. What he does off the field, he doesn't leave Santa Clara often, and he is there at the facility more than anybody. He just works, and you'll hear a lot of like D. Winters and Tatum Bethune who are credited with, doing so much work and growing so much from the first to second season, second to third season. And they say, like, oh, well, what happened? And they're like, well, Fred talked to us about the importance of being here and staying here and being in the building. That's where you improve. He led BYU in total tackles not once but 2 separate seasons, and he was a safety. Not even a linebacker, kind of that star role, which the 49ers loved that. He won the Most Valuable Player Award for BYU, Captain's Award for BYU. Like, the dude was just everything. Did everything that he needed to do. Then, the funny thing is, he thought he was going to get drafted by the Broncos, and he even talked this story about me. Like, he thought the Broncos for sure were going to pick him. They were super high on him, but the Niners kind of moved up and sniped him, which is awesome. Now, he's the first NFL rookie since 2000 to begin his career with 4 consecutive games of at least 10 tackles. Fred Warner showed up day one, took over the starting job, never looked back. Improved every single year he's been in the league. And again, best coverage linebacker in the NFL for sure right now. I would argue of all time. And now that's an argument. There's some great coverage linebackers out there that you could, talk about. That's fine. I'm biased. I'm telling you, I think Fred's the best. Will be the leader and face of the 49ers for years to come. Remember, he's 28. This dude could play for a while. And the peers all love him. Everybody loves Fred. Top 100 player lists, he's everywhere. In 2021, he was 21st. 2022, 47th. 2023, he was 11th. This year, 19th. Fell a little bit. He broke his ankle. He fractured his ankle. Game 4, and didn't miss a game. Just played through it. Didn't require offseason surgery. No worries. I'll just go play. And, the 49ers, they don't talk about injuries often. But nobody knew about it. It's like, man, Fred Warner's play it's still great, but it's not what we're used to as the standard of Fred Warner play. Well, it turns out he's playing on a fractured ankle, hurt. Playoffs, eliminated from the playoffs, fractured ankle, all those things, still stayed out there and played. Like, everything that it means to be a 49er. Married to the former The Bachelor contestant, Sydney Hightower. They do their show, The Warner House. Incredible stuff. And, we had the privilege of having Fred Warner come to our draft party when we threw the party in Vegas. It was awesome. Hanging out with Fred Warner, dude shows up in flip-flops and shorts at this Vegas club that we rented out. Had a great time. And the best part was, like, you hire these players for contracted time and, autograph, whatever else. His time finishes, and he comes up to me, like, all kind and nice, towering over me, and says, "Hey, man, do you mind if I just kind of, like, hang out? Like, everybody here seems cool." yeah, Fred Warner, you can hang out as much as you want. Then he was like, "Man, can I announce some of these giveaways?" Yeah, man, sure. Just hand him the mic and let him go. Dude had a smile. I look over at one point. He's just chilling, talking to my oldest son about life. Like, I tell him, go over there. Like, he's just asking my son questions. You know what I mean? Like, that, who you see Fred Warner with the charming smile and very just nice, chill personality behind the podium and in interviews, that's who this guy is all the time. All the time. It's just who he is. And it just makes it so easy to like and adore and root for and cheer for these types of guys. Now, if you want to get to know more, look up the Fred Warner story. It's a great 15-minute video. You can kind of learn it. The Hometown Hero, the Fred Warner story on YouTube, pretty great. But dude stepped in, started every game since he showed up. He's missed one game in 7 seasons. That's it. Pre-game speeches make you want to run through a wall. Patrick Willis-like, just off the freaking charts. Awesome. Does have a son named Bo. That's a cool name. But he's averaged over 100 over 100 tackles per year since entering the league. Just awesome. Going to be on the 10-year, decade list 49ers. The extension that he just signed puts him through that with extra. That's huge. And again, this is a 4-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first team All-Pro. He's done everything. And now whenever you look at, okay, well, let's look at the future in 2025. You finally drafted, the 49ers drafted a bunch of run-stuffing tackles. They drafted run-stuffing defensive ends. Now you don't have to worry about everybody getting to Fred Warner, those offensive linemen being all around him. You can plug up the run game. Allow him to cover. Allow him to scrape and go make those plays on the sidelines. That's huge. So the team is building their entire defensive identity around Fred Warner. And rightfully so. He's that damn good. He really, really is. Got drafted in 2018 in the 3rd round with the 6th overall pick in the 3rd round. The Niners got this pick, and you got to give credit to John Lynch, because they had the trade parameters and, the pick in the 2017 initial draft where they were picked second. They traded with the Bears. They traded up for Mitch Trubisky. 49ers took Solomon Thomas. That didn't work out. But they had the parameters of the trade worked out. Well, 49ers on the clock, they call them and say, hey, you're going to have to throw in an extra third-round pick next year. Bears said, no, man, that's not what we agreed upon. And John Lynch says, sorry, we got to do it. And the Bears agreed to it. That pick became Fred Warner. That pick is what became Fred Warner. That's beautiful. He was the 8th linebacker selected in the 2018 draft alone. Golly, best linebacker in the NFL. Now, if you look at Pro Football Reference, they track stats and whatever awards, all that stuff. The entire draft, 260-plus players, 2018. The 3 most valuable players, quarterbacks, everything always goes to quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP. Josh Allen, 1-time MVP. And then Fred Warner. The entire draft. You got the 3rd best pick in the draft in the 3rd round. As a bonus, gravy addition to a trade that you did the previous year. Off the charts, awesome, man. You look at the career stats, and that's probably, if you're looking for a negative, because you got to talk Hall of Fame with Fred Warner. He's on the cusp already, probably going to be one with that many All-Pros. But his career stats, not as, the tackles and all that stuff, because what happens is Fred's specialty is coverage. So he's that deep dropper a lot of times. The linebacker next to Fred, Drayton Greenlaw, would lead the team in tackles a lot of times if they could stay healthy during games and stuff. So the stats take a little bit of a hit whenever you compare him to guys like Patrick Willis and other great Hall of Famers. He's got 897 combined tackles, 36 tackle for loss, 30 quarterback hits, 10 sacks, 6 fumble recovers, 15 fumbles forced. That is, Peanut Tillman, man, would be proud. 53 pass breakups, that's elite. 2 touchdowns, 10 picks, that's elite. 115 games, 115 starts. Oh. But whenever you look at the stats and the tackles, he is behind the greats. That is the one, quote-unquote, negative. Now, he leads them in interceptions, forced fumbles, all those fumble recoveries, touchdowns. But the sacks and the total tackles, he's a little low. So, if you look at just kind of the contract, right, just signed to extension on May 22nd, 2025, 3 years, addition, $63 million, 56.7 fully guaranteed. There is no question on this dude. Awesome. And, his career earnings is now up to $81.5 million. Get paid, Fred. You look at his PFF numbers, 89.2 overall. That's awesome. That's 4th best. Played with the freaking fractured foot the whole season. Coverage grade, 88.4, 3rd best. Forced fumbles, he had 4. That's 2nd best. Just all-pro Fred, man. Now, Hall of Fame talk. Okay, let's do this. This is important. He has 4 All-Pros. First-team All-Pros, mind you. He is 1 All-Pro away from, listen to these names, Patrick Willis, Zach Thomas, Derek Brooks, Dick Butkus. He's 1 All-Pro away from tying all of them. He's 2 All-Pros away from Jack Lambert and 3 All-Pros away from the most ever at the position, which would tie him with Mike Singletary and Ray Lewis. Who in the hell is to say he can't do that? This guy is on the cusp of greatness. I love Patrick Willis. Love Navarro Bowman. Love those guys. I think 5'4", when it's all said and done, might just be the best ever linebacker to put on the red and gold. And that's saying a lot. No, not trying to discount anybody else. But I'll take 5'4" all day. Thank you to Josh for helping write this episode. And we got the final 3 left to go. Let's get it.